Hey guys, we've been talking a lot about food that's really not good for you in the US, such as the 9-patty T-Rex burger from Wendy's or the 3,000 calorie breakfast meals. We're going to switch it and talk about food that's really not that good for you in China. And in China, there's really not a lot of attention on the calorie counts of the meals.
Yeah,
but there's really a lot of attention paid to whether this food may be toxic, or is it a real, or is it fake?
And you thought that having like 2,000 calorie meals was bad, but in China, some foods, they might seem harmless, but they could kill you.
And here's just some foods that we found that you should try to avoid or check really carefully in China before you bite into them. The first one that I found was the fake baozi. I don't know if you guys know what baozi is. It's like a dumpling, a steamed dumpling type food. It's like a bun with meat stuffed inside. It's usually made out of pork or some other sorts of meat. But here, what's happening is people, street vendors especially, are making the pork, the insides of the buns, the pork is making it from cardboard.
From cardboard?
Cardboard. And some of you say, well, how do they do that? Well, what they do is they soak the cardboard in water, or in chemicals, sorry, it's not even water, industrial chemicals until it's really soft. Then they chop it up and they put it into the bun as if it's pork.
Well, they mix it with a little bit
with
of pork.
Fat.
Because if you don't put any pork in it, it's very easy to see that it's cardboard. So they put that and meat flavoring and just put a lot of ingredients so it tastes like pork.
So
in reality,
eating cardboard, I mean, that's just almost unbelievable to me.
That is disgusting. And who knows where the cardboard came from and what kind of chemicals?
Industrial chemicals, that's all it says. Could be anything.
Wow.
And probably one of the most famous ones in China right now is the fake egg scandal.
This is one of the more recent ones, and you're just starting to wonder what's next. So what happened with these eggs is basically they're not eggs. They look like eggs and they feel like eggs, but they're completely artificial.
Right.
So the eggs, the shells, the yolk, like everything is made from chemicals and, basically non-edible things.
Which begs the question, is that really cost effective to actually make the whole egg on its own rather than just getting it from a real chicken?
And at one point you're thinking, right, these fake foods and these toxic foods are made because, the manufacturers want to save on price and they want to make a bigger profit margin. But really, making a whole egg out of scratch, that's got to take some work.
And it's the whole egg. The shells are made from, I think they say wax. Even the yolk is lemon or food coloring.
Yeah.
And the white part is made some other mix of chemicals and ingredients. It's acid even. So it's just bizarre that you can actually create a whole egg just from chemicals and random, wax and some food coloring. So the one that struck me is this. There was a woman who bought some pork and she cooked it for her family, and then she left the leftovers on her counter at night when she actually went to grab something or use the restroom. She actually saw a faint blue glow coming from her kitchen, and she saw it was actually the pork that she put there. It was emitting this blue light.
That sounds like a beginning of a sci-fi film or something.
Supposedly, it's because the pork is contaminated by phosphorescent bacteria, and that's why it's glowing. But imagine, her family already ate some of the pork, and she left it there. Now it's glowing like an alien being almost. I mean, this is just really fascinating.
Yeah, it's terrifying, actually.
Yeah.
Ooh, disgusting. So on the topic of meat, a lot of meat producers in China have been selling fake beef that's actually made from rats and
foxes, minks.
Yeah, so things that we probably wouldn't want to eat on a daily basis, but they have used those animals to produce fake beef and sell it to people.
Right, and it's not just the beef as well. There's also cases of people using chicken that has died to make the roasted chicken. There were cases where I think some stores were disguising a chicken into a goose.
Oh, that's common day practice.
And all sorts of weird manipulation of meat to make it more expensive.
Absolutely. I mean, if you bought a geese and it was chicken, the worst thing is like, oh, I got gypped. But really, if you bought beef and it turned out to be rats, how would you feel? That's disgusting.
Rat burgers.
Wow.
Okay, and the last story we want to bring up is walnuts. So basically the scam is the people that are selling the walnuts have already taken the nut part out of the walnut shell and they replaced it with cement and a piece of paper, tissue paper.
Why do they put the paper in? That's always my question.
I don't know why they put the paper in, but they re-glued the shell back together. So in essence, what they're doing is they're doubling their profits. They're selling the nut on its own, then they're selling the walnuts to unsuspecting customers too.
Yeah, so basically when you open the walnuts, it turns out to be a
piece of
rock.
cement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I guess why they put the paper in is because actually if you put cement into a walnut, it rattles. And
yes, there you go.
Walnuts don't rattle.
Good.
So yeah, and
Good
plus,
theory.
and they probably measure the cement so that, when people, actually Chinese people are very particular about weighing their foods before buying them. So it has to at least feel legit. So it does, but when you go home, it's actually not.
And what we mentioned so far is not obviously the whole list of all the different food items you need to watch out for while in China. I think it goes way beyond this. And we're going to post the links to the articles that we found for this story below so you guys can take a look as well. And the food contamination, the fake products in China.
It's a very prevalent problem in China right now. And, the people there are really thinking, what could be next? Something else is going to come out and it's going to be poisonous. And it's really bad.
And this is not cute. The walnut, there's a stone in your walnut. Okay, that might be, all right, ha ha ha. Okay, there's people making profits by selling people cement-filled walnuts. But that's easily catchable. You open it, there's cement in there so you don't eat it. But a lot of these foods is undetectable. I mean, you're eating chemicals, you're putting poison into your system, and there's not enough there's definitely not enough coverage and attention paid to what's happening in China because of these food items. And a lot of times these food items, they are exported to other countries, such as the toothpaste scandal several years back where actually, toothpaste is being sold to the U.S. were contaminated with melamine as well. All right, so let us know what you guys feel about this issue. Are there more food items or items in general that we did not talk about in this video that you guys feel should be mentioned? Let us know in the comments section below.